Hi, this is the video, the one that I was talking about. I'm finally getting around to telling you a little bit about me and the purpose for this channel. Who are you? Think about that. Who are you? When someone asks us who we are, we usually answer them with titles of things that we do. For example, I might answer, I'm a wife, I'm a mom, I'm a teacher, I'm a grandma, I'm a gardener, I'm a writer. All of those things, though, describe what I do, things that I do, not the truth of who I am. The really good news is that even if I couldn't write anymore, I couldn't garden anymore, I couldn't speak anymore, I couldn't see anymore, I would still have value because I'm a child of God. That is such a beautiful, beautiful truth. If you think about it, we are priceless. We are priceless because we were chosen and created by God the Father who loves us. One of my favorite Bible verses is from the book of Jeremiah. It is Jeremiah 1:5. Before I formed you in the womb, I knew you. And before you were born, I consecrated you. I appointed you a prophet to the nations. Now, God was talking to Jeremiah. He said he consecrated him to be a prophet, but he also knew us before we were born, and he loved us into existence. And he has consecrated us, perhaps for the job of prophecy, but probably for something else. And our job in life is to figure out through prayer and discernment how God wants us to use the gifts and talents that he has given us. Do you know what your purpose in life is? Well, we were created by God to know him, to love him, and to serve him in this life so that we can be happy for all eternity with him in the next. That is number one in the old Baltimore Catechism. Now, I did not grow up with the Baltimore Catechism, as many of you did not, and I'll get to that in just a minute. I was born in June of 1966 to two very loving parents. My mom is Baptist and my father is Catholic. I was raised Catholic and went to Catholic schools all the way from first grade through college. My dad was in the military and my mom was a stay-at-home mom until my brother and I got to high school and they needed more money to continue our Catholic education because the high schools were, naturally more expensive. My experience of school was not a very positive one. I can delve more deeply into that in another video, but suffice it to say that school was a struggle for me and I absolutely hated it until I got to college. It was a very difficult time for me. And it's kind of ironic that as much as I hated school, that I would choose as an adult to spend my life in a classroom. Kind to try to be the kind of person and the kind of teacher and give kids the kind of experience that I wish I had. And I hope that I've done that, and I know that there are sometimes I have failed to do that, and I've done the best. That's all I can say. Anyway, I met my husband as a freshman in college, and we dated for 4 years. Once we finished college, we got married on a Friday night, and we both started new jobs on Monday morning. I showed up to St. Andrew the Apostle School as a a young 23-year-old and began teaching in my first very own classroom of fourth grade. And I taught there for 13 years. Then I moved over to the North Shore of the lake, and I have taught for another 18 years at a Catholic school. So that's a total of 31 and a half years in Catholic education. It has gone by in the blink of an eye, and it's just unbelievable to me. I love watching through Facebook many of my former students now getting married, having children and their own families, and I just love to see how they've blossomed and grown and become fine men and women, and it just gives me such pride and such hope and excitement for them to watch that happening. Now back to the Baltimore Catechism thing. I wish when I was growing up that I fully understood my purpose, why I was created. I wish someone had told me, your purpose is to know, love, and serve God in this life so that you can be with Him in the next. As many of you know, in the 70s and 80s, we were in our religion classes busy singing, "Hi God, how do you feel today?" and "Kumbaya, my Lord, Kumbaya." I'm not saying there's anything terrible or wrong with that, but our religion classes were very watered down. They were very much about love and family and good things, but there were so many things that were left out that we truly needed to know to become strong men and women of faith in future years. When I was in high school, you're not going to believe this, but in my senior year, we studied the sacrament of marriage. And at the end of that year, the culmination of that study was to have a mock wedding between a female student and our male religion teacher. The girl wore a dress, there were bridesmaids, the teacher wore a tuxedo and pretended to be the groom. And even during the ceremony, there was even a kiss. It was so messed up. And so needless to say, our preparation or our study of the sacrament of marriage had nothing to do with the sacrament itself and living a holy and chaste life and preparing for marriage by virtue and stuff like that. It was all about the event itself, the wedding. So sad. Anyway, with that as a background, that kind of explains my part of my mission here. I'd like to teach in little snippets some of those things that we all need to know as men and women of faith that many of us did not get, sadly, did not get growing up. And it's things that we really need to know now as push is coming to shove and we're kind of clouded in chaos and confusion, and sometimes the truth is hard to see through all of that. So I hope that you will continue to join me as I attempt to inspire and maybe provoke a giggle or bring a little levity to your day, but also to talk about the truths of our faith that we need to know in this fight that we're up against in current times. Thank you for watching and hope that you will tune in for my next episode. Have a great day. God bless.